This short clip attempts to describe the nature of outcomes-focused assessment. Those of you who are familiar with self-directed support will know the supported person's pathway. One of the critical early stages of that pathway, that's after an individual has made contact with a local authority and has assessed as meeting that local authority's eligible needs, it's at this stage that an assessment is undertaken for that individual. Traditionally, experience of assessment has been relatively mixed for individuals. Indeed, work undertaken by the Association of Directors of Social Work, ADSW, came back with some of these not untypical responses from individuals who had undergone what is often described as a community care needs assessment. People talked about a process which didn't involve them. They mentioned the fact that the practitioner, social worker or health professional was more interested in ticking the box and filling a sheet rather than in their particular individual needs. Assessment itself is a word which conveys very different meanings to individuals. For many, it's reminiscent of spending time at school and passing a test, rather than reflecting on your particular social care and health needs. For some, it was a process you either passed or failed. For others, the practitioner concentrated on the thoughts and views of the family member or carer rather than the individual. Generally speaking, therefore, needs assessments in their traditional sense were about assessing the needs of an individual, and for some people that meant talking up their deficits, what was wrong with them, in order to get a service. That was and is a very unhealthy and unhelpful approach to the assessing of social care and health needs. An outcomes model offers a very different sort of response, and individuals who had undergone an outcomes-focused assessment model began to talk about a much more positive experience. The crucial element was that they felt that the practitioner had listened to them, that their own individuality had been accepted, that they were treated as a person with unique needs and distinct needs. They talked about the individual practitioner taking time, looking at different options, asking the right questions, being genuinely interested in making a difference for the individual. So what is different about outcomes assessment, and how might providers be involved in the process? Outcomes-focused assessments, rather than needs assessments, attempt to identify what's most important to people and what matters most to them. We know quite a lot about what people who use social care services really want from those services. Here are some of the things that they have shared with us. People talk about it being important that they have choice, that they're not just offered a limited option decided by somebody else. They talk about the importance of having people in their lives who they can rely on, who they can get to know. They talk about the importance of remaining in contact with family, friends, neighbours and their wider community, not being isolated and cut off. People reflect on how important it is for them, whether in care at home or in residential care services, to be treated with dignity and respect, to be treated in a manner which accepts them as an individual. Individuals say that it's very important, wherever they are, whether it is at home or in a residential setting, that they remain involved in the community, that they continue to be engaged in the activities which hitherto they had been engaged with. That might mean meeting friends, going to the pub, going to church or mosque. It's very important individuals say that they have things to do, that they are able, as far as they physically can, to keep up an active and busy life. Most importantly, they reflect about the importance of being in control of their life, not being made to do things which are of no interest to them, or feeling that somebody else is making decisions for them. Health is very important, but also what's equally important is being able to achieve things. Even though individuals have now reached a stage in their life where health is no longer as positive as it once was, individuals still reflect about how important it is for them to be able to do new things and achieve new possibilities. So all in all, individuals have told us what is very important to them when they are assessed during a social care assessment. One of the ways which many local authorities are delivering an outcomes-focused assessment is to use the talking points approach. Talking points can be accessed on the website if you require further information. But there are certain key elements which the talking points approach considers central to a good outcomes-focused assessment. Individuals need to be assessed to a degree to which they are able to be as well as possible. They can be supported in a way to improve their confidence, maintain their friendships and relationships and social contact, be able to feel safe, to live as independently as they wish, and are able to feel included, not just in their own life, but in decisions made about them. How an outcomes assessment is undertaken will be very much in the individual choice of the local authority. But what is central to all models is at the end of the process, an outcome-focused assessment will identify what are the core important outcomes which an individual wants to achieve for their life. Sometimes language can be a little bit complicated and confusing. We talk a lot in social care and health about outcomes. Ordinary citizens don't really talk about outcomes. They use language such as what's important to me. They reflect on what a good day might look like or what a good week might feel like. So it's identifying what those outcomes, what those needs are, which is the central concern of an outcomes-focused assessment. The skills of listening, of getting alongside, of digging deep beneath the surface are core for those who carry out outcomes assessment.